Okay. All right, the recording has started. So, thank you for joining Dress for Success Cleveland and our Lunch and Learn. And today we're talking about a topic that of an industry that a lot of times women do not consider to go into. So, we want to explore those opportunities, and we have a wonderful opportunity to have a guest speaker, Valen Willis from Magnet, who's going to share what these opportunities are and trends that are happening in this market. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Valen.
Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. As she stated, my name is Valen Willis, and I am the Manager of Community Relations and Outreach for Magnet. I want to talk to you briefly today just about our workforce development programming that we have for adults, but I also want to give you a snippet of what we offer for our youth and young adults as well. So I'll go ahead and get started first with a short video. It's about a minute long, and then I'll ask a couple questions in relation to that quick video. Awesome. So
That's a
by just watching that video, the couple 10 facts of manufacturing, is there anything that kind of stood out to you that may have been new information, exciting information, or something that made you go, okay, let me take a little deeper listen to what she's about to say?
So I guess you're talking to me.
Or or
I don't
or
know.
Miss
Chris is
Chris.
just here to navigate or participate as well. So I'll just jump in and take that. I was really surprised. I even wrote down some of the stats. I wasn't exactly surprised with the salary because I expect the salary to be kind of like in that range or beneath that. But I was surprised that there are 10,000 manufacturing companies in our area. On one end, on the other end, not really, because it's so funny that we're in this meeting today because Fallon, as I mentioned, I live in the Huff area. I live behind the school. I
Yep.
live right behind Magnet. And so I've been taking a new way to work. So I've been driving down Huff, which turns into Commerce.
Yes.
And as I was driving today, I was like, even though I already know what I know, I'm like, Jesus, there's a lot of
A
factories
lot of
around here.
manufacturing.
Yeah. And I was like, gee, because I at the time I was leaving today, I usually don't see people going in and out of work, but that particular time, a lot of people were going in and out of work at that time that I was driving down the street. So, which made me think about it. So, yeah.
Yes, yes, and yes. That is so crazy that you say that. I will be transparent. Before I worked for Magnet, I, necessarily didn't even, I wasn't aware of really what was around me. So just as you
Mhm.
say, as you're driving, I'm like, oh, that's a company. I wonder if they're one of our partners. Oh, it's just so many. You're like, oh, there's clusters of manufacturing companies on different streets and in different neighborhoods that are right in our backyard, as you stated, that we weren't necessarily aware of. So yes, the 10,000 jobs in our area alone, and then Ohio being one of the top manufacturing industries and ecosystems that we have. So we are a leader in that. So I'm going to speak a little bit more about manufacturing and how to get into that manufacturing world and what Magnet is doing to introduce that to different populations of individuals.
Mhm.
So I'll start with just an overview of who Magnet is. Magnet, which stands for Manufacturing, Advocacy, and Growth Network, has been around for about 30 plus years. We work with small to mid-sized manufacturing companies right here in Northeast Ohio. And we kind of operate under two different buckets. We have our consulting bucket, which normally house growth advisors that go out into those manufacturing companies. They do needs assessments to ensure that those companies are operating to their best. They, help with operations and planning and strategic planning with them as well, excuse me, just to again ensure that they are working to be their best and that they're working to make more money. That second bucket is our workforce development department, which is where I am housed, which I'll be talking more about today. Under that workforce department, which we call our talent team, we really help to build a talent pipeline into the manufacturing world. And we do that with a multitude of different ways. So we'll go right into that. We'll start off with our youth. Just this past year when Magnet opened, well, we've been open for about 30 plus years, excuse me, but we've been in our new building for a year, literally just a year, this past October. So with that, we've developed a youth program in which we invite students from different high schools. We invite students from different middle schools to come to Magnet to take a look at what we do, what we have, and we have different programming for them to introduce them into the manufacturing world. We really work closely with our partnerships with GCCC, Greater Cleveland Career Consortium, and the PACE program with CMSD schools. They have a partnership to come and visit every every sixth grader will come through here on their way to the Science Museum as a way to introduce manufacturing and then STEM into their worlds. We also have a pre-apprenticeship partnership with the Early College, Early Career Program, and that's in-house here, and that is for high school students to have paid internship opportunities with local manufacturing companies. The good thing with that program is that they work closely with career coaches, that help them to navigate with professional development and soft skills training so that they're successful in the workspace. Those job mentors are also coaches for them and mentors for them that actually go into their high schools as well and work closely with their high school team to ensure that they are successful, not just in their career, but successful academically as well. We also have, some out of school time programming as well, where we work with local camps and local organizations where students can come through Magnet as a day experience. Where they'll do some hands-on activities to learn about STEM and manufacturing and engineering. And they also can take advantage of our lovely playground that we have outdoors, which is in partnership with Metro Parks. And if you look on the Metro Park map, we are an actual location through them, and it's a STEM themed playground that students can take advantage of. And I invite you all to come and take a look at that. We're located at 1800 East 63rd Street. Tiffany, did you have a question? Oh, it looked like you did. Okay. um, I'm here today to actually talk to you about our adult workforce, which leads into our Access to Manufacturing program. With that program, we work with individuals who are 18 years of age and older. We also have a partnership with Lincoln Electric through an Earn and Learn program. We're not quite recruiting for that right now as they don't have a need in the Cuyahoga County, but that is still a program that we usually actively recruit for, and I could talk about that at a later date. In addition to that, we have some we have some talent team programming, which are some system-wide improvements that we do. And one being our Coach U program. Our Coach U program works with local workforce development professionals to help them to navigate being an actual workforce coach a little bit better. So they help them and provide resources and tools so that they are able to guide individuals into the workforce correctly. Any questions? Awesome. So what is manufacturing, right? Why are we trying to get individuals into manufacturing? What exactly is it? If it's anything like what I thought before I joined working at Magnet and I didn't have a huge background, I, had the myth of thinking all manufacturing was dark, dirty, and dangerous. Is that the case? No. You do have some manufacturing companies that may be in that type of environment, but a lot of them are innovative, they're creative, they're cutting edge, and they're really doing some wonderful and great things in the community. A lot of these manufacturing companies are working on technology that we will need and utilize in the future. And they Individuals will have the opportunity to operate CNC machines, welding, robots, and really things that, like I said, in the future, we are really pushing towards. Any and everything that we see and do, the chairs that we are sitting in, this computer had to be manufactured. There are pieces in this computer that is allowing us to be on this call today. So when you think about manufacturing, think about it as literally being everything that you see and touch. Why manufacturing? Well, who's good for manufacturing? It's funny when you have a lot of adults who are 18 years of age and older who may think, well, I don't know if manufacturing is quite right for me. And what I really like to say is, change that mindset, change that shift of what you think it is and how you think you would be and how you think you would fit into that world. If you're someone who likes to solve problems, someone who's likes to build or design or create. I'll even say someone who likes to lead. There are so many avenues in manufacturing that's not even just on the shop floor. You need that person who's going to be a scheduler. You need that person who is going to supervise those individuals who are on the shop floor. You need the person who's going to do quality assurance. Are you someone who's detail oriented that can look through products and say, oh, wait, there's an error here. Here's something we need to look at a little bit more. There are jobs and opportunities for you in that field. So really, manufacturing can be for those that have maybe worked in another field, education, retail, sales, and things like that. And they can really switch that mindset that, no, I'm not necessarily doing this, but I can take that skill that I already know and utilize it in this market, because you do need someone who's going to sell those manufacturing products that you are creating as well. So thinking about it in that realm, it really, manufacturing can be for anyone. So, as I mentioned, I'm here to talk about the Access to Manufacturing program. What exactly is that program? Now, the Access to Manufacturing program is really designed to be a step into your career. It is used as a design and a tool to help you get into the manufacturing world. It really is going to work with you on teaching those basic skills, in addition to soft skills that you'll need to be successful in the manufacturing world. A lot of the opportunities and careers that you will get once you complete the program is something that is, yes, it's at an entry level, but there is definitely room and a pathway for individuals to grow and to learn while they're on the job. So it really is that stepping stone to get you into your manufacturing program. And I'll tell you a little bit about how. So, as an Access to Manufacturing student, what can they expect? What will they do? As I mentioned, Magnet's new building has been around for about 1 year, and students will actually come to Magnet to receive their training. So what they'll do is, Monday through Friday, we operate our programming. We have a close partnership with Towards Employment, and Towards Employment is a workforce development entity. What Towards Employment does is actually work through the application process. So as an Access student, one would apply to the program. Once you apply to the program, someone from Towards Employment will contact you. Once they contact you, what they're doing is just ensuring that you understand what the expectations of the program is. In addition to that, they want to ensure that they answer any questions and identify any barriers that you may possibly have. Their goal is to really identify the right individual for the program and ensure that you have the tools in place so that you can be successful once you start. So, having barriers as transportation or childcare, those are real barriers that everyday individuals have to deal with. And so they're there to help identify those and possibly help to aid and provide some resources and tools into how you can be successful in the program. So the classes, as I mentioned, take place at Magnet, which is located at 1800 East 63rd Street. Those classes are going to run for 3 full weeks. Now, we've made some changes to the program, so we really want it to emulate a normal workday. So you will work from 8:30 to 4:30. You will come in for your training from 8:30 to 4:30. And what we've implemented was a paid training. So what we're doing is paying you to learn. So normally, when you think about going into some of these programs, you're paying for education. I know I had to pay for my education. It's
Right,
the
right.
opposite. And that's
That
something that's
that
right,
is
right.
awesome. That
That
doesn't
is
come
all
up too often, right? Where you get
right. Excuse
paid to get trained, right? and then with all these resources that are there. So that is amazing.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that actually sets the access to manufacturing program apart from some of the other programs, is
Yeah.
that we're paying you to come in and learn a skill, learn some entry level positions, but we're also paying you to network with some of these manufacturers. So as I mentioned, Tiffany, was that a clap or
Yeah.
was that a raised hand? Okay. What we I mentioned is
I'm
that
sorry,
we're
it was a raised hand.
oh, okay.
So, okay, so two questions probably at once.
Yes.
So I was wondering, did you want us to hold our questions to the end, or can we just come in and ask questions at the time?
We have time. If I see
Hmm.
that we're kind of running a little behind, I'll ask to wait. But for right now, come on, bring it.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to ask this question right now is because I think I'm getting a little. I want to get a point of clarification. So,
Absolutely.
is this program here different from the Learn and Earn? Is this a different
Yes.
program? Yes. Okay,
Yes,
I
so the
thought
Earn and
so.
Learn program is a partnership with, so I'll only be talking
Lincoln
pretty much about the
Electric.
Access program
Okay,
today because we kind of have a hold on our Earn and Learn program, but
gotcha.
I can still tell you a little bit about it. Our
Okay.
Earn and Learn program is a partnership with Lincoln Electric for direct placement only into Lincoln Electric. The separation is that that program is Earn and Learn through Lincoln Electric. This program is in partnership with a multitude of different manufacturing companies for employment at one of their companies, not
Hmm.
necessarily just Lincoln Electric. In addition to the Lincoln Electric program being a 2-week program and an evening program, and it's a paid training, but you do not get the hourly rate that you get with the access. You get a stipend, a
Got it.
stipend for different portions. Yeah.
Okay.
So um, with that, they are currently hiring only for another location that's not in our vicinity. So until they're ready to hire for that area, we've kind of put a pause on it. But once we do, I've more than will help. I'm more than open to doing another webinar on with that one.
Okay. So before we go further, I have another
Uh-huh.
question about the
No
Access
problem.
program. So with the
Absolutely.
Access well, I know what you said about the Learn and Earn. I'm reading my notes.
No, 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 you're fine.
You said that they must be 18 and older. So with
Mhm.
the Access program, is that the same?
Yep. 18 years of age and older, and you must live in Cuyahoga County. And I'll speak a little bit about that too.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. As I mentioned, we have a partnership with Towards Employment. Towards Employment does the application process and the screening process, and they also conduct the courses. So as I mentioned, they were from Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30 right here at Magnet. And they are ran and operated with the Tourist Employment team. Something that also kind of sets the Access program apart from some other programs is that we work so closely with the employers, so the manufacturing companies, that sometimes they come in and actually conduct some of those classes. So they'll do the hands-on training and they'll do some different resources and tool and work with them on some different resources and tools, so they actually get that hands-on component, but then they also get to that relational component as well. When they graduate from our program, these are some of the companies that you'll actually be interviewing for. So this is also an opportunity to show who you are and showcase yourself, ask questions, get an understanding of their companies and take time to get to know them so that you can see if that's a good fit for you when you graduate as well. So some of those, like I said, employers are able to come in addition to the Towards Employment team. So you will receive hands-on training. You receive some technical training that is on a computer. With that, students are working towards a certification that is nationally recognized. That certification is a PMA, a Precision Metal Association certification. It is nationally recognized. If they decide that Cleveland is too cold and too finicky for weather and they want to go down south, you are able to take that certification and utilize that as an aid when applying for another manufacturing company somewhere else. So that is transferable, and they're able to utilize that as well. So when you think about, like I said, the Access program kind of separating itself from other programs, you're having that paid component. You're having the component where you're able to interact and interface with different employers throughout your training. You have the PMA certification. So you're actually walking away with a certification. So we're paying you to get a certification, basically. Um, so yeah. So we think about the curriculum for the Access to Manufacturing program. There's really 4 major points. One, that PMA certification that students are working towards. They're utilizing that time on the computer when they're working through different lessons to obtain that PMA certification. They're also working on their soft skills. We realize sometimes every career is different, right? So even coming into this field was different than a previous employer that I had. And so having to switch in and be able to operate in that field, we have the soft skills piece. So they're really operating and helping individuals who participate in the program to be able to navigate in that manufacturing space. How do you know what do I need to do? They're helping them with interviewing skills or helping them with resume building, and things like that as well. And just operating and working through conflict resolution. These are day-to-day things that may sit differently in a manufacturing field. The technical training, as I mentioned, they're receiving that hands-on technical training, some entry-level shop math that you may be able to utilize, the operations of tools and things like that. You're learning that right in that space. And one of our key points outside of, yes, it is a PMA certification that you're able to take, is that career coach that is working with you while you are during the 3 weeks of your training stays with you for 1 full year of employment. So they are there as a personal coach, as a personal cheerleader, as a support system, as a barrier identifier, as a resource provider, to really help you to be successful for that full year of your employment. We realize again that this may be some individuals' first job ever or first career ever. This may be, like I said, a shift in employment for you. You may have been in a totally different field. So we really want you to be successful. So those career coaches from Towards Employment really take that time to work with their clients throughout the time of that 3 week program, but then also during that 1 full year of employment. So a career versus a job. You'll hear sometimes people say, "Oh, I got a new job," but is that your career? Is that a place that you can grow? Is that a place that you can prosper? Is that a place that you can learn new skills to really just push yourself to the next level? As I mentioned, with the Access to Manufacturing program, yes, it is a for sure opportunity for you to get into the entry level positions, such as the machine operators and, like I said, the CNC workers, and sometimes even a forklift driver. You have those entry level positions, but then within manufacturing, it is one of the fields that allows individuals to prosper and to kind of be promoted a little sooner than a lot of other companies. Um, my experience in the workforce has always usually been you have to wait 1 full year before you're reviewed in your annual your annual review, where they look at you and they see how your performance, and you go through a full process, and then from there it's a decision on, if you're promoted or if you have a get a raise or things like that. The world of manufacturing is a little different. You can work there for 6 months and they're like, "Hey, Tiffany has been coming to work every day. She has taken initiative. She is really, growing. She's asking to learn new things. She's asking for more work. She's really showing that she wants to be here. Tiffany, there's a position that's possibly for you. We're looking to promote you to dot dot dot. How do you feel about that?" But that is real. We have individuals who have graduated from the Access program, and have been within 2 years of their employment, have gone from a $19 an hour or $20 an hour to making $5 and $6 more within 2 years. And a lot of times you don't hear of that. You hear the 50-cent raise, or a 36-cent raise, or things like that, where these individuals are able to obtain more quicker, faster, and they're coming in the door with a lot more than someone who may be hired off the street without the experience. A lot of our Access graduates are walking in the door, advancing at a quicker rate and a faster rate and a higher rate than some of the other individuals that we are seeing being hired into the manufacturing workforce. So when we really talk about what that looks like, and how that can be a career for you, and how that can be of an opportunity for you, I always ask people to think bigger when you even walk in the door. Think bigger. Where can I be? I want to know what the CEO is even doing than just what I'm doing right here today. So I'm machine operating today, but I could be CEO and CFO tomorrow. And not necessarily tomorrow, but that is in my future. That's a possibility for you. We've actually, here at Magnet, have hosted some open houses and things where we invite industry representatives to come in and talk about their experiences. And we just recently had an owner of one of the manufacturing companies come in and talk about how he literally started from the bottom and now he is here under 45 years old and is about to be next in line to own a company. And he, did not graduate from college, but his experience, his drive has brought him to where he is today. So I really just say, look at it as a career, not just a today job, but how can you see yourself? Where do you see yourself next in this career? Where do you see yourself, even if it's not with that same company? Where do you see yourself? Um, and so I also want to speak on just the opportunities of debt reduced options as well. So if individuals decide that, hey, I do want to get a little bit more schooling, whether that is a certification, whether that is apprenticeships, whether that is getting a bachelor's, an associate's, or a master's degree. The companies that we work with offer debt reduced options for you. So some of them offer on the job training, which means that, hey, we have apprenticeships that we offer right here, right on our company shop floor, where you can do that and earn that. They may offer that. Some may say, okay, you want to go to CSU? Sure. You want to go to Tri-C? Sure. We can offer a debt reduced options in which they help to pay for tuition. If there's a certification program, there's opportunities where some of these companies are able to help and aid in paying for those as well. So I always say, just think of again of the longevity of it not just being your current job, but that you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your success, and you're investing in your future. So looking at that in that lens sometimes switches it to what that can look like for yourself. So who can apply for the Access program? It is an open application process. Individuals have to live in Cuyahoga County. You have to be 18 years of age or older, and you have to be ready and available to work full time. All of the positions that are hired at the graduation of the Access to Manufacturing program, are all for full-time opportunities with benefits. So you do have to have that available for you. I will also say that individuals who participate in our program do not need any previous work experience. You do not need to have any manufacturing experience. You can literally be coming from the sewer district and decide that manufacturing is for you, and you can move right into that field. You do not need prior experience. We will work with you where you are. In addition to that, it is a criminal past friendly, reentry friendly um, program. It is on a case by case basis. Obviously, it will depend on the offense, but we do look at individuals, and Towards Employment will operate and navigate and work with individuals depending on, again, what that offense is. So always say, don't let that be a deterrent from you applying or trying to see if this opportunity. You have the ability to apply. And once you operate and navigate through the process, Towards Employment will let you know if this is something that you are eligible for. And again, I point out that this is at no cost to students. This is a paid training program that you will get paid. And I didn't mention that it is an hourly rate that you get paid. So thinking of it just as a job, and as I mentioned, we want to emulate a work day. So you're doing that 8:30 to 4:30, you get paid from you showing up and being there. You have to show up to get paid, just like in any career, just like in any job. We want to see you show up. We want to see you show up as your best self. This is still an opportunity for you to kind of interview without the official interview. You are showing up for the Access participants. You are showing up for your other classmates in your cohort because you're a team and you have to show that you can work on a team, as you will when you get hired, right? In addition to that, your career coaches and your employers that are coming in and showcases, they're looking, they're watching. They want to be able to refer you to other companies to work at, even if it's, hey, I met this person, I don't have a position, but wow, when I came in and I was really working with this cohort, I saw they stood out. I don't have something and specifically what they're looking to do, but I may have a colleague in another company that they're good for. So always show up as your best self with any and everything, how I say that in life. And something that I did not mention is at the conclusion of the 3 weeks, we host a graduation for our graduates because you are a graduate. We tell you to invite family and friends. We invite our employers. Everyone who pretty much was there from the beginning of the process comes and celebrates you. Um, Yes, sometimes people say 3 weeks training program. Yes, celebrate your success, celebrate your commitment to yourself. Showing up for yourself needs to be celebrated each and every time. So, no, it is not just a 3 week program. It is not just a certification program. No, you are showing up for your success. You are showing up for yourself, and we will celebrate that. So, we have a graduation. They vote on like best class personality, best team player. Like you literally are taking this as your cohort. I have witnessed numerous graduations and the camaraderie that is developed in those 3 weeks. You will be surprised at how truly everybody kind of walks away and they will say it like, this is my family. Like, oh no, we friends now. We have a group chat. Like, I'm going to see this person at the end of this 3 weeks. I'm going to see them. I'm going to keep pushing them and driving them. And just the encouragement that everyone is invested in within your classmates and within your career coaches and just the impact that they have. So at the end of that 3 weeks, you can expect a graduation. You can expect just people cheering you on and encouraging you to, again, show up for yourself as your best self. So I always get a little emotional and committed to that because I see the change. So I just always push that for individuals. Now, this page here, it's so funny because I always have to say this about 3 times that this is a sample. This is a sample. This is a sample of entry-level wages. And I say that because people say, oh, wait a minute, $35, $36, $25. Wait a minute. But this is a sample. And what we really did here was kind of outline that first number being, let's say out of the door, you're getting hired for a position. And you get hired for, we'll say forklift driver. So you start, you're making $16 an hour. If you stay at that position within 3 to 5 years, you have the potential to earn up to $25. Again, this is a sample. It depends on what? You. It depends on who you show up as each and every day. Also depends on the company and obviously what they have available and what they're able to do. But again, you have to show up. You have to come in there each day with your best self, showing up for yourself. You don't always have to be the best at everything, but you do have to show up. You have to take initiative, right? And show initiative, show passion in what you're doing and your want to grow and learn. So these are, yes, some of the positions that you can possibly be hired on within participating in the Access the Manufacturing program, production technician, inspector, forklift driver, machine maintenance worker. So these are, again, that starting salary, which once you're hired on, this can possibly be what you're making, but within that 3 to 5 years, and as I mentioned, with manufacturing, it's not your typical wait 1 year for a review or anything like that. You can go anywhere from 6 to 8 months before you get a review. So it's a little quicker than some of our other careers. Any questions thus far?
Yes, I do have a couple.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to hold a couple of them to the end. So I think a couple of slides before this,
Mhm.
there was the one where you were talking about kind of like went into the prerequisites,
Mhm.
and you mentioned that it's offender friendly and thing, that one right there. And
Mhm.
then the last on the second, I'm pointing like you could see it. On the last, on the second square where it says adults can enroll in either program, at the bottom it says or diploma. Does that mean that the participant needs to have a diploma or not? Or
Mm-mm.
what does that
No,
mean?
it's saying adults can enroll, and I don't know why it says either program, but and adults can enroll in the program whether or not they have previous work experience and whether or not they have a diploma.
Okay, so if a person does not have
They can
or
still
have
apply to the program.
a
You can still
GED,
apply. You do not need a high school diploma or a GED to apply to the program. No.
okay.
Some of our employers that we work with, and I'm happy you actually brought this back up. We always ask applicants to be as open and honest as possible. And we ask that for a multitude of reasons. Towards Employment works really hard to build the rapport and relationship, and Magnet works very hard to build rapport and relationships with these manufacturing companies
Mhm.
to the point where it Towards Employment is able to identify, okay, what's going on? What's the backstory here? Okay, I got an employer for you. I know this employer here will be something, a company that's friendly to your background.
Okay.
But what you don't want to happen is, well, I don't want to really say, or I'll only tell you of one offense and not necessarily another. And then you go through this in process because they're going to do a background check. They do
Absolutely.
initial one, but some of the companies dig a little deeper, right? So you go through the entire process, and then you have a company that may hire you, and now they did their background check and something else pops up that they may not be able to accept. But it was another company that could have accepted, but somebody else took that position, right? So we just always ask that you're upfront, open, and honest from the beginning. And
Mhm.
from there, be able to work with towards employment and your career coaches on what that looks like for you for your future. So thank you for bringing that back.
Okay, and so I have a couple other questions as well, Valen. So you may
Okay.
have said this, but I might have missed it.
Mhm.
What does the PMA stand for?
Precision Metal Association. Um, with that, like I said, it's nationally recognized. When you think about some of the journeymen and things like that, kind of in that scale of your certification, you're able to take that anywhere. That's something that you can utilize and put that on your resume. I have a PMA certification. I'm able to utilize that in other places. Yes.
Okay, and a couple of more questions. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're fine. I appreciate that, especially with it
Okay,
just being us. Mm.
okay, cool.
And if I don't
So,
know, I will get back with you. Mm.
okay, I'll start with this question first then. When you said that there is an hourly wage for this training, do
Mhm.
you know what the hourly wage
Yes,
currently
ma'am. It
is?
is $14 an hour.
Okay, cool. And then also, so that's 14 hours for the 3 weeks, from 8:30 to 4, right?
Yes,
I
4:30.
think 4:30. I think I wrote that down somewhere in my notes. I got a bunch of notes over here. Um, and when does the next class start? When is the next cohort?
Yes, the next class. I hope you guys can't see what I pull up on my. I will tell you at the end of this because I want to pull it up on my computer and I don't know if it'll show up when I'm going through
Okay,
my.
no
But I have a
problem.
calendar, and I can tell you when the next class is. So we have completed. I do know this. We have completed our recruitment for the 2023 season. We actually have a class that is graduating this Friday, and that will be the last class of the 2023 year. We will begin, and we've already begun accepting applications for the next cohort, and application deadline for that will be on the 25th, which is Christmas, but on the 25th of
25th
December.
of this. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So thank you. So I do know that. I want to say the class starts on the 22nd, but I will verify before we get off. It may be the 29th, but it is one of the last 2 weeks, excuse me, of January, but I can verify that before we get off. And did you have another question, Miss Tiffany?
Not right now. I think that
Okay.
was it for now. Mhm.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for asking. I really appreciate that. We talked about that. All right. So, seeing yourself in manufacturing. When I go out into the world and then go out into the community and talk about Magnet and talk about the access to manufacturing program, we have a lot of women who say, well, is it women friendly? Is it okay, for me to go in? Right now, currently, 20% of the manufacturing world consists of women. I host a monthly plant tour in which we go out to different manufacturing companies each month and tour their facility, talk to some of their employees, learn about what they manufacture, how they manufacture, and just learn about their whole ecosystem. So each month we go out to look at different manufacturing companies. There have been quite a few that have had majority of women in their plants. And it's so crazy how you walk around and you go, I haven't really seen too many men here. There's a lot of women, and obviously it depends on different companies and what they have, because you may go to some and there's not a lot, but currently women are dominating the field. Um, the young woman who spoke at the end of the initial video that I showed was a previous participant in our ECEC Early College Early Career Program. That's the one I mentioned that was for high school students. And she is currently soaring. She is currently successful in the career that she is doing at working in manufacturing. And she loves it. And she's committed to it. She has seen herself grow there and be promoted. And it has been a good field for her. Over the time of the Access program, we've actually found that women have been more successful than their counterparts in the Access to Manufacturing program. That commitment, and we've made some changes throughout the duration. The Access program has been around since our COVID time of 2020, but we've made some changes. It used to be for 4 weeks. It used to be a different time frame and things like that. So as we've made those changes, women have still been soaring. They've still been more successful throughout the program and showing their dedication and just how they've been able to navigate throughout it. In addition to that, we run not a test, but what we do is try to follow, as you work with your career coach, those that stay committed to working full time after graduation. And what we found is 30 days, 90 days, you may see some drop off. After 180 days, we found that the women have been still working as opposed to some of the men. They've stayed committed to that throughout that duration. So it's so funny to see it and kind of have us represented in such a great light. And this is beautiful to see. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's really beautiful to see how we are showing up
Hmm.
and showing out and showing up as our authentic selves, and really just growing in this field. So I'm looking and hoping that that 26% raises to 50%,
Yeah.
and then we just can really see how we are really operating in that
Hmm.
field, not just in the Access program, but even just overall in manufacturing as a whole. And then this last bullet point, it was funny. I was talking to my supervisor about that, but um, within manufacturing, they're really looking for individuals who can work in a team that can collaboratively problem solve, and those that are natural born teachers. And when you think about who sometimes can identify as that and who has those traits and characteristics, a lot of times it's women
Yeah.
who have that natural teacher in us. We are the ones that's okay. All right, got to think quick on my feet. Got to this, and this, and operate in that. Not saying that men are not doing that, but we see that those characteristics a lot in women. So we have the opportunity to see ourselves in manufacturing. We have an opportunity to grow in manufacturing. We have our place in manufacturing,
Hmm.
and we can stand firm and stand in that.
Thanks for including that information because that's critical again to our organization, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
with us being a nonprofit for women. And like what we mentioned earlier, a lot of times it's the industry that most women don't even think about
Mm-hmm.
looking into. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times it's daycare or it's the medical field
Mm-hmm.
or customer service related. So
Mm-hmm.
when you talked about, career versus job and the opportunities for, monetary growth, position growth, I mean, this is definitely a sustaining career opportunity. So thank you for including that
No,
information
thank
about
you.
women being
And
26%. So I'm like, okay,
yes,
like you said, that can be a fast growing opportunity.
it
I didn't
can.
even know that, when you were talking about some of the overall stats in manufacturing, when you think about Northeast Ohio and the impact of the auto industry and
Mm-hmm.
what that did to the manufacturing world. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it crippled a lot of our city with
Mm-hmm.
income, career, and jobs, and there was a transition to medical. So it was just kind of interesting to hear how this swing to manufacturing and how significant the opportunities are in Northeast Ohio. So,
I totally agree.
thank you for sharing that. So I didn't mean to keep
Absolutely.
just running my mouth, but I just wanted to
No,
make
thank
sure.
you. No, I appreciate that. I will also say, Magnet has really tried to make an imprint in manufacturing by really building awareness. When we moved into the new building here, that was something that we had at the forefront was what can we create and build that will invite the community, that will bring awareness to manufacturing and shift the mindset of,
Right.
hey, ooh, manufacturing. No, no, no. We
Hmm.
have windows that are opened all the time where people can
Yeah.
drive by, walk by, look directly in to say, what's going on in there? We want you to
Hmm.
see and say what's going on in there. We also host a monthly open house and or social, in which we invite community members, partners, individuals who may be interested in the Access to Manufacturing program Some of our organizations bring their clients, their residents, participants to just really come out and look and to see and take a tour of Magnet, but also learn about some of our programming, learn about some of the things and see some of the things that we were doing, but also have a hands-on activity with that. This month, actually, on Thursday of this month, we are hosting a cookie social in which we're inviting the community. Yes, we are inviting the
Cookies.
community out, and I will send you a flyer for that, Chris. But we are inviting the community out to really take a time to come in at 11:30, learn a little bit more. We'll have an actual hands-on activity in which they will be able to take a look and operate one of our cookie cutters and things like that. But we'll also have some cookies to share. Um, and really just allowing people to see, okay, what is metal form building? What's that? Well, let me show you. You're about to do it right now. Let's do that. Let's bend some metal. Let's create and really get their hands immersed into what manufacturing is and what it can look like and how they can see themselves. So I invite everyone out to on Thursday, at 11:30 to come to Magnet. Just a quick hour, take a look around, learn, like I said, a little bit more about what we do a little hands-on activity. But learn and have that that immersion into manufacturing and what that could look like. So you are more than welcome to come out to that. And then like I said, we host monthly plant tours. We actually have our one for tomorrow. Registration is closed for that, but that will be tomorrow at Euclid Heat Treatment. So whenever you see a flyer for that, and I will make sure I send that out to Chris, please come out, take a look, participate, and what that looks like. So that is all I have. I thank you for your time.
Well, I'll turn it over first to Tiffany. Tiffany, you had incredible questions.
And I this
So I
is
just
just so
wanted
you
to,
see the flyer for that.
oh, I like cookies. Um, Tiffany, did you have any more questions? You had some fantastic questions, so I wanted to give you an opportunity.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, and definitely thank you, Fallon. I just want to explain why I wanted to be here. Well,
Mhm.
first off, when I met you, so about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
you were such a delight,
Thank you.
and just an amazing person. So when I saw your name on the flyer, I'm
You.
like, that's the lady I just met.
I
So
just
we were
met
really
her.
weird. So I was like,
Thank
I gotta
you.
go. I gotta see what she's talking about because I want to support her. That's the first and foremost, okay, from
Thank
a
you.
personal perspective. And as per usual, you didn't disappoint.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very
Thank
well
you.
done, very
Hmm.
knowledgeable. The statistics were amazing. I love that. That's how
Thank
I
you.
learned. So thank you. Excellent job.
Thank you. Very much.
Sincerely.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
you did it. You did it. Answered all my questions, which was an excellent job. Well, let me just share this. The reason
Mhm.
why I wanted to attend was for a couple of different reasons. Of course, I live right next to Magnet. I don't I feel like I didn't know what I didn't know. Like I
Mhm.
feel like I don't know enough, right?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
when they did the grand opening and invited the
Hmm.
community to the building and stuff like that, I walked around, I saw the machinery and all that good stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I still did not feel like until today
Mhm.
what is actually done in there and the why and the who. Because I'm like, is this
Mm.
a high school? Is this,
Yeah.
Yeah,
my
we get
questions
that a
are
Hmm.
lot
still
because it
there.
used to
My
be a school too. So
yeah,
people
Hmm.
grow
right,
up
right.
like,
I
"Oh,
thought it was
you work at the school." It's not
Right.
that.
exactly, and I thought it was a magnet school, like a
Hmm.
private
Mhm.
school for certain types of individuals who want to go into manufacturing, is what I
Mhm.
thought. And then also before that, I was like, oh, maybe this is kind of like, oh, what is that, Polars or whatever it's called, Polaris or something like
Mhm.
that, where it's like for adults to get, manufacturing training at night and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Well, and in reality, I just learned today that it's kind of like a combination of those two things. So for me, from a personal level, I wanted to learn that. And I wanted to take that information and share it with people that I know in the community. And as you were speaking, I was like, oh, okay. I know people who have felons. I
Hmm.
know felons, excuse me,
Mhm.
or felonies, if you want to say that. And
Mhm.
also, I know people who are undereducated or
Mhm.
underemployed or whatever the case may be that may be a good fit for the Access program
Mhm.
personally. And then also, too, I wanted to know from you, Dallin, do you have any relationship with anyone at the Regional Sewer District?
I personally do not know.
Okay, good. Now you do. So here's
I
the
do. Her
thing.
name is Tiffany.
Yep.
That's right.
Tiffany Jordan, to be specific.
Tiffany's right, and that's right. So if you ever have any questions or anything like that about the sewer district, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can answer any questions. So I just want to do a real quick commercial as it relates to what I do at the regional sewer district. My role at the regional sewer district is I work with minority, small and women-owned firms. Okay, and so usually these firms are in the area of construction and engineering. Right. And so most of my projects are engineering projects. We just led a big, gigantic project that's 247 million. It's a tunneling project, and we're going to have a ton of subcontractors. And those are majority of my humongous projects. Okay. I say all that to say to try to get to a point of saying that we have some program. We have two programs that I am aware of that I do not run in the regional sewer district. Okay, that's a part of the organization that I work for, but I do not head these departments. I do not head them up. The first program is called the Good Neighbor Ambassador Program. One of the things that they do, and I'm trying to speak for them, even though I'm not the subject matter expert, the Good Neighbor Ambassador Program is really ran by a lady by the name of Constance Hawk. She is the director, and then there's a couple of other managers that's beneath her. The Good
You
Neighbor
said
Ambassador
Hall or Hawk?
as Hawk, Haqq.
Okay.
Constance Hawk, and I can give you all the information. But what we try to do with the Good Neighbor Ambassadors, we take people who are like, generally like underemployed. So we do have cohorts, and with the cohorts, we try to educate them about different programs around the city. Or different, like the access program, Lincoln Electric. We have relationships with a lot of different organizations and companies and things like that around Cleveland, the greater Cleveland area. I'll say that. And so I think that it's imperative that I think it would be a good idea to have this conversation, right? And for you to be the subject matter expert and talk to the real subject matter experts in the organization to share the message that you share with me, because I did not know what I did not know. So I think that you would add value to us as well. And then in addition to that, you mentioned, the STEM. One of the first things that you said early on, you talked about STEM. You talked about the lovely playground that I am obsessed with. I've never seen one in this country like that. So we do have some programs here. There's a lady by the name of Angela Jones who happened to be a very good friend of mine here in this organization. Angela Jones is an engineer here, and she works heavily with the lady by the name of Ramona. I can't even remember her last. She just got married. Farrell, I think is her last name, over at the city of Cleveland. But they work with a lot of the youth in the STEM program as well. So I don't know if you have a relationship with them, but don't worry. I can give you access to those ladies. They are the bomb. You would love them. They would love
Oh, thank
you.
you.
And
Awesome.
trust me.
Thank
And
you.
then more importantly, last thing I was like, yeah. So you had mentioned about, I know you were in another lane, but I'm going to go back into the sewer district lane. You had said about plant tours. Okay. So when you talked about plant tours and them having manufacturing plant tours, we also have, the sewer district also have plant tours. Okay. So we have three major wastewater treatment plants. Okay. So just to be clean, we have easterly, westerly, and southerly. Every year on, I'm going to say in August, September, we have what is called Clean Water Fest. Okay. Big, that's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. But even though we have that big thing, and we bring out all the yellow metal, all the construction equipment and all that stuff, and we talk about the urban water cycle, all that good stuff, even though we do that on that particular day and we invite the entire community out, we do have what is called smaller plant tours, right? Where you can get a group, I don't remember the number, but let's say 8 or more that can participate in a plant tour. Right. And so if you have students or something like that, you guys can sign up for a plant tour and they can come out and see what our plants look like, because they are absolutely fascinating. I never knew.
I actually participated in one through the Cleveland Leadership
Oh,
Center, and I was
yeah.
like, "Oh, this is cool." Yeah, so it was really good. I agree. That's a
Well,
good
I'm glad you
experience.
enjoyed it. So,
Mhm.
just FYI, so if you guys want to put that on your docket or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, you too, Dress for Success, Chris,
Yep.
feel free to do that as well. And I just wanted to share that information with you.
No, thank you.
So, if there's anything that I can do to assist you in your role, and if there's anything that I can do to spread the message internally here at the sewer district to put you in contact with Constance, or anything you'd like to
Yes,
send me.
please.
And
And also,
yeah.
can
They would
put
love
you in
this.
contact. Yeah, I'll put you in contact as well with our manager of youth and workforce.
Mhm.
Is Dejan Battle. She manages that program. And that's when you have the youth that's coming into Magnet to actually take tours and do the hands-on activities. Her team handles that. So I also will introduce you to that. And I did not mention that we offer scholarships too for college students. It's our MSP scholarship program, and that is for minority youth who are going into the college field and majoring in engineering or manufacturing. So that is something that we do as well. So yes, if you, like I said, want to come and take a visit inside, please feel free. I will make sure you both are on our distribution list. If I can get your
Mhm.
email, Miss Jordan, I will make sure that you are on the distribution list for any of the programming that we have coming up.
Yep, and
Okay,
Tiffany, if
I'm
you wanted
gonna.
to add it to chat and or I
Yep,
can send it to afterwards.
I'm gonna throw it in the chat as we speak. And then one final question for you, Valen. Make sure that's right. Um, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to just reach out to Constance directly and say, or do you have something that you want to send me, like with your contact information, or?
Either or, I can shoot you my email address as well, with the flyers for some of the events. And then if you want to
Oh,
do a soft e-introduction,
that's
that
great.
would be
That's great.
perfect.
That's great. I
Yep.
would do that.
Okay.
This was awesome. I mean,
It
an
was.
incredible topic, incredible
Mhm,
speaker.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
mhm.
much, Fallon, with sharing so much
Thank
incredible
you.
information.
Thank you. I love my
Um,
job, so I never
yes.
mind sharing.
Oh, well, good, good. And again, with this being recorded, we're going to make it available on demand. So for the couple of people that weren't able to make it, they'll have access to it. And then any woman afterwards who have an interest, they'll have access to this
Wonderful.
information. Tiffany, thank you for sharing your information
Yes,
as
thank
well,
you
which is
so much. And thank you for the
important.
introductions coming.
Yes, yes, thank you very much. So, ladies, this has been a wonderful afternoon. I am so grateful for your time and your energy that you brought because I like good energy calls. This was a
Me
good energy
too.
call. So
Me
y'all,
too. And
y'all
I
got good
appreciate the
energy.
engagement. I know it was
Yes.
a small but mighty
Yeah, that's
group
right.
from both you, Chris, and Tiffany. Thank you both for
Yeah.
engagement, asking important questions, and just having the good dialogue. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes, yes. Thank you. Well, you ladies enjoy the rest of your beautiful Tuesday afternoon. And I know we'll
Listen,
be in contact with each other sometime soon.
sounds
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Thank
And
you. Have a great one.
Chris, can you tell
Yes,
Melanie I
Bye-bye.
said hello?
I will. I
Okay, thank
will.
you.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Tiffany.
Take
Bye,
Bye,
care.
Vala.
everyone.
Take care,
Bye bye.
ladies. Bye.